Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Brother Sid. I have Brother Quran assisting me today. We are the Commandment Keepers Church. We have a detailed broadcast for our brothers and sisters internationally. The title of today's broadcast will be Medicine's Darkest Secrets. Medicine's Darkest Secrets, brothers and sisters. What if I told you the person you trust most with your life is actually the one putting it in danger? Behind the closed doors of hospitals, there's a billion-dollar industry of greed, cover-ups, and corruption that we will expose today, brothers and sisters. Okay, today we're pulling back the curtain on the medical system's darkest secrets. Behind the scenes, corruption runs deep, so much so that many remain unaware of the dark secrets we're going to reveal today. The healthcare sector is more sinister than any other industry, and this is a fact you cannot ignore, brothers and sisters. We will prove that many doctors, pharmacy owners, and medical representatives live double lives that we have refused to see. Our mission is to prove that the healthcare industry is corrupt, revealing the hidden truths behind the white coats. Many people totally ignored the prominent Queens doctor, Alan Chang, who was recently arrested for drugging and raping his patients. Get ready for a revelation that will change your perception forever.
Tonight, a joint investigation by the News 4 I-Team and Telemundo Investiga uncovers unthinkable allegations of rape inside a New York City hospital. A doctor accused of drugging and sexually assaulting a female patient while recording it on his cell phone. And as Chris Glorioso reports, this is not the first time he's been accused of using anesthesia to commit sex crimes.
The allegations against Dr. Ji Alan Chang are so monstrous they could make a horror writer blush. The Queen's physician is currently facing charges he drugged a woman using an unknown liquid and recorded video as he raped her in his apartment.
It sounded like a parent's worst nightmare, something out of a movie.
Now, Dr. Chang is being accused of a second rape, only this time the alleged victim says she was his patient and it happened inside New York Presbyterian Hospital, Queens.
I am scared. I no longer want to go to hospitals.
We'll call her Jane, and Jane spoke exclusively to the I-Team and Telemundo Investiga because she fears what happened to her might have happened to others. It was June of 2021 when Jane was a 19-year-old admitted to the hospital in Flushing. Her medical records show she needed her gallbladder removed, but the day before surgery in a hospital pediatric unit, Jane says Dr. Chang unexpectedly injected her with an unknown drug. Immediately after the injection, she fell asleep, and when she woke up, the doctor was no longer in the room. That medical record also says she felt extreme pain to her lower abdomen.
It's not normal to be injected and not know what you were injected with and wake up in extreme pain.
Jane's attorney, Nicholas Liakis, says his client and her mother reported the suspicion something criminal had happened. They say they demanded to know what the doctor injected and even pointed Dr. Chang out in an impromptu lineup at the hospital.
They put me in front of like 4 doctors and they said, identify who it is. I said him because he was there standing up.
So in the hospital, they did kind of a lineup of doctors.
They did.
And she pointed at who?
At the doctor, Dr. Chang.
What does that tell you about how seriously the hospital was taking the complaint from this patient?
It tells me that at least the nurse would have believed something was wrong, because that's something that you see in a police station, not in a hospital.
Brothers and sisters, follow us to the book of Proverbs, the 10th chapter and the 9th verse. Okay, the title of today's broadcast, Medicine's Darkest Secrets. Brothers and sisters, this industry is corrupt. You would never believe who's wearing these white jackets. Okay, we've been taught to trust these doctors. Okay, they're giving us information on how to live, what medications to take, what type of treatments we need to have, and you had no clue what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, the title of today's broadcast, brothers and sisters, Medicine's Darkest Secrets. All right, we're in the book of Proverbs, the 10th chapter, in the 9th verse. We're going to have Brother Quran read us this. And this is the NLT version of the Bible, brothers and sisters. Okay, Proverbs 10 and 9, King Solomon. Let's take a gander.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 9, in the NLT. People with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will be exposed.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
People with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will be exposed.
Aha. See that? The Bible warns that what is done in the dark will be screamed from the rooftops. Okay, King Solomon knew the truth. A wicked life is a heavy burden, brothers and sisters. It's a heavy burden. You can hide your crimes from the world, but you can't hide them from your conscience. See that? And that's what Solomon is bringing up here. Okay, read that one more time, brothers and sisters, please.
Proverbs 10 and 9. People with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will be exposed.
See that? That exposure is always on their conscience. See that? They have no peace, right? Secrets have an expiration date. The Bible promises that every hidden sin will be dragged into the light of day. See that? And we're going to do that today. We're going to do that today because why? Our followers, we want to look out for our followers, right? Healthcare is a big topic in the last days. Okay? And we want to make sure that you know these people are not to be trusted. Are we saying you can't trust any doctor? No, we're not saying that, but you need to check after them. Just because they give you prescriptions or treatments doesn't mean you should trust them. And we're going to prove that today. Why? In this passage, we are cautioned that activities performed in secrecy will inevitably be brought to the light, brothers and sisters. See that the Bible serves as a reminder that the truth will ultimately be unveiled in due time. And we're going to do that today. Why? It is stated in the Bible that those who engage in wickedness will eventually be uncovered. Okay, the text expresses that if one lives with integrity, there's no need to be concerned about concealing your life away. See, when you're living a life of darkness and corruption, you always want to hide it. Okay, and in this passage, King Solomon reminds us of the troubling conscience that accompanies a lifestyle of wickedness. See that? Let's talk about it. Let's talk. Why? The Bible reassures us that those who engage in wickedness will ultimately be uncovered. See that? The passage articulates that if you live an honest life, there's no need to disguise your way of living. In this text, King Solomon reminds us of the troubling conscience that accompanies a secret lifestyle. Okay, the passage serves as a reminder that when an evildoer is ultimately revealed, God has warned them numerous times. Okay, when these guys get revealed, this is not their first time. And that's what the text is telling us. Okay, people don't get caught on their first time. All right, in every aspect of the healthcare industry, there are deviants camouflaged beneath the mask of a medical degree. And we're going to prove that today. In every corner of healthcare, there are deviants concealing themselves beneath the guise of a medical degree. Okay, a medical degree is the ultimate camouflage, brothers and sisters, and that's a fact that cannot be denied. Okay, from every corner of healthcare, deviants are hiding behind the prestige of their titles. Many people ignore the recent exposure of the prominent Dr. Leedy, who was found guilty of coercing children into producing child pornography.
Here, a Tampa Bay doctor is not allowed to practice any medicine in Florida right now after he's accused of sexually exploiting children online.
The palliative care doctor is accused of instructing multiple children to do sex acts and harm themselves, and one victim died. Let's bring in Fox 13's Kylie Jones now. She's been following this one for us. You've got to look at the video from the moment that he was actually arrested in Georgia, Kylie.
Allie, we did. We're going to show you that in 1 second. We're also learning tonight that Stephen Leedy's medical license is under an emergency suspension by the Florida Health Department. According to the health department's website, that emergency order was filed yesterday, and we've also obtained this body camera footage from his arrest.
Step out. Step out of the car.
Now that's body camera video from a Holly Springs police officer in Georgia. Police say a bolo was put out for Leedy on December 19th. Leedy was spotted that same evening on the interstate in Cherokee County, Georgia. The U.S. Attorney's Office, Middle District of Florida, says Leedy chatted with 10 children online and instructed them to do different sex acts on video chats with him. Court documents also accuse Leedy of directing children to cut, choke, or hang themselves. Investigators say one of those victims, a 13-year-old girl, was found dead, appearing to have hanged herself. Now, in this body camera video you're seeing, Leedy could be heard when he was handcuffed, asking what was going on.
I'm assuming this is a case of mistaken identity. I know nothing of a warrant. I'm gainfully employed. I'm a physician. I've had no notice of anything. I've had no... You don't get notified when there's a warrant out for arrest.
This Tampa Bay physician was found sexually exploiting children online, a fact that is indisputable. Okay, the Bible cautioned us against placing too much trust in these medical professionals, and this situation illustrates the reasons why. Dr. Leedy, a well-known doctor in the Tampa Bay area, has been discovered to be exploiting young children online. Okay, one of the most esteemed doctors in Florida has been revealed to be a sexual deviant. Okay, Dr. Leedy is not the only licensed medical professional living a life of sexual deviancy, and we will verify that claim today, brothers and sisters. Okay, the Bible foretells that in the last days, many vultures would be uncovered. Okay, and we're going to talk about it. Why? This predator victimized nearly 100 children and was ultimately exposed after years of sexual exploitation. Okay? This Tampa Bay physician was caught sexually exploiting children online, and that's a truth that cannot be ignored. Okay, one of Florida's most esteemed physicians was uncovered as a sexual deviant. The Bible foretold that in the last days, many wolves, many predators, many vultures would be uncovered. Okay, Dr. Leedy exposed for the horrific exploitation of 100 children. A medical license is the ultimate cover. One of Florida's most esteemed physicians has been revealed as a high-level predator. The Bible foretold, in the end, the wolves would be dragged into the light. The vultures of the medical industry are being exposed. Scriptures warn us, even the most trusted professionals can hide a heart of darkness. Okay, Dr. Leedy is just the beginning. Today, we will prove that sexual deviancy is rotting the healthcare industry from the inside out. Okay, follow us to the book of Psalms, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, follow us to the book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 8. Okay, we're going to leave the book of Proverbs. We're going to the book of Psalms 118. We're in the King James Version of the Bible. Okay, we want to show you that the Lord tells us not to be so trusting. Okay, we're at Psalms 118, verse 8. Let's see what God has to say about it in his word.
The book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
Read verse 9, brothers and sisters.
It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes.
Princes are what? Princes represent a man in authority. Okay, so the Lord is warning you, just because someone has authority, just because somebody has a title, just because someone has a position, right? You need to be careful. God knows the essence of humanity, which is why he warns us against being overly trusting. See that here God teaches us that the only one we should fully trust is him. See, this passage communicates that putting your complete faith in licensed physicians will lead to severe repercussions. Okay, the Most High reminds us that there's no one we should trust entirely except for him, including medical professionals. See that? See, this text is a reminder that doctors are not divine. Okay, so placing absolute trust in a physician simply because they're licensed goes against God's guidance in these passages. Okay, whenever you consider giving your full trust to these physicians, reflect on this passage carefully. Okay, read verse 8 one more time, brothers and sisters, please.
Psalm 118:8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
See that? The text implies that blind reliance in licensed physicians will always result in catastrophic results. Okay, God alone deserves our trust. Any person who puts their faith in a medical license over the Lord is inviting disaster. Doctors aren't divine, brothers and sisters. Placing absolute faith in a licensed professional isn't just risky, it's a direct violation of God's word. Okay, neglecting God's warnings has a price. Thousands of children are victimized every year by the very doctors parents trust blindly. Trusting man over the Most High is a recipe for disaster. The healthcare industry is a human institution. It's not a holy institution, brothers and sisters. Okay, countless children become victims of abuse by licensed physicians because parents neglect these warnings. Okay, every year, thousands of children suffer abuse at the hands of physicians, a truth that God emphasizes in this particular passage. I encourage all parents to take this passage seriously when it comes to granting their unwavering trust to any licensed physicians. Okay, when deciding how much faith to put in any certified medical professionals, I urge all parents to think about this verse. Okay, many parents completely overlooked pediatrician Dr. Earl Bradley, who was arrested after being discovered to have molested over 100 children.
It's a case that's shocking even veterans of law enforcement.
The indictment consists of 471 separate counts. It contains charges of rape, first degree, sexual exploitation of a child, unlawful sexual contact.
And the charges go on and on in this shocking case of child sex abuse involving Delaware pediatrician Dr. Earl Bradley, charged with being a serial child molester.
Many video files seized show the defendant in the act of assaulting his victims. This indictment alleges, among other things, that 103 individual children were victimized, including one male child.
The more than 13 hours of video recordings date as far back as 1998. After years of suspicions among parents and questions about his strange behavior from colleagues, Bradley was arrested in December after a 2-year-old girl told her mother that the doctor hurt her when he took her to a basement room of his office after an exam. Bradley's been in jail since his arrest. Biden sounded clearly disgusted about the crimes.
As a prosecutor, I am bound by certain rules that limit what I can say in the midst of an active investigation. I cannot say certain things that I am feeling, and I am feeling a great deal.
Authorities expect more victims to come forward. They've sent thousands of letters to Bradley's patients. If convicted as charged, Bradley faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Tim McGuire, The Associated Press.
Earl Bradley, a Delaware pediatrician, was charged with the serial molestation of over 100 children. Parents need to be mindful that pediatricians are not to be trusted without careful consideration. Pediatricians are doctors that specialize in children, and it's important to consider why they prefer this profession. Okay, pediatricians are physicians who are only licensed to practice with children. And parents need to be extremely cautious about that. Okay, across the nation, there are pediatricians who are sexually abusing children, and that is an undeniable truth. Okay, parents need to recognize the potential for sexual deviance present in many of these pediatricians. Okay, any man who chooses to work with children day in and day out should raise suspicion. Okay, sexual predators often seek out environments where children are unsupervised, and that's a fact that cannot be denied. Parents must be vigilant regarding the potential sexual misconduct demonstrated by many pediatricians. Any man who seeks to spend extensive time with children should be approached with caution. Okay, remember, pediatricians are licensed solely to treat children, and parents must exercise caution in this consideration. Okay, pediatricians are the most trusted of medical professionals, but this trust is misplaced, brothers and sisters. Okay, the sexual exploitation of children by pediatricians is a reality that we cannot overlook. We cannot overlook it, brothers and sisters. The title of today's broadcast, Medicine's Darkest Secrets. Medicine's Darkest Secrets, brothers and sisters. Okay, follow us to Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11, because we're going to show you why these pediatricians get away with this, these doctors. Okay, let's go to Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament, chapter 8, verse 11, in the NLT version of the Bible. Brothers and sisters, we're here at Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter, in the 11th verse. Okay, because why? People want to know, why are doctors getting away with this? Right? How come when we finally catch up to these guys, they've already molested 100 children? Okay, we're going to talk about it today. Right? You want to know why they have the audacity to do what they're doing? You want to know why? We're at Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Let's take a look, brothers and sisters.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 11 in the NLT. When a crime is not punished quickly, people feel it is safe to do wrong.
Read that again, brothers and sisters.
When a crime is not punished quickly, people feel it is safe to do wrong.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
When a crime is not punished quickly, people feel it is safe to do wrong.
See that? This passage reveals the causes behind the presence of sexual predators in the healthcare profession. Okay, in this text, the Bible reveals the root cause of the widespread sexual abuse that occurs among medical professionals. Okay, because patients give their unquestioned trust to these physicians, these predators often feel safe and unconcerned about being found. Okay, when these pediatricians are eventually exposed for sexual misconduct, they've committed these offenses hundreds of times. Hundreds of times. By the time these predators are arrested, they've already abused countless children. And this is a definite fact. This is a definite fact. Okay, so don't you dare think your pediatrician wouldn't do it. Don't you dare think your medical professional wouldn't do it. Okay, sexual immorality has become a defining feature in pediatrics. And unfortunately, this has been overlooked. This has been overlooked in pediatrics. The text explains the factors contributing to the widespread presence of predators among medical professionals. Okay? In this passage, the Bible discloses the fundamental reason for the widespread sexual abuse taking place within the healthcare industry. Okay? Because of the trust that patients grant upon their doctors, these predators feel a sense of security and they're unafraid of being caught. Okay, when these vultures are ultimately revealed for their sexual offenses, they have engaged in this behavior hundreds of times. Sexual immorality has emerged as a prominent trait in pediatrics, a reality that is largely overlooked. Okay, countless pediatricians in your state have been implicated in child pornography, a truth that cannot be refuted. Okay, any man who has made it his living by only treating children is what? He needs to be examined carefully. He needs to be examined carefully. Any man who has made it his living treating only children as patients warrants thorough scrutiny. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. Many of the pediatricians practicing today are also pedophiles, a fact that's indisputable, brothers and sisters. Many parents overlook the notorious pediatrician, Johnny Bartow, who was recently found guilty of sexually abusing over 30 children.
John, I'm here outside the Richland Township Police Department where Attorney General Josh Shapiro announced nearly 70 charges against Bartow, accusing him of sexually abusing 29 more victims. Monday morning, investigators filed additional charges of sexual abuse against former pediatrician Johnny Jack Bartow. Investigators say the 70-year-old sexually assaulted patients at Laurel Pediatric Associates and Conemaugh Hospital. The alleged abuse dates back to the late 1980s, and the victims include boys and girls of all ages, even a 2-week-old baby girl. Bartow is accused of inappropriately touching the victim's breasts and genitals.
Dr. Bartow used his power and position of authority as their pediatrician to abuse them in those instances, to feed his own sick desires.
Investigators say Bartow waited for his patients' guardians to leave the exam room or would use his body to hide the alleged assaults. Bartow's medical license was revoked in January. Attorney General Josh Shapiro said this investigation is ongoing and thanked the victims for their courage coming forward.
It takes victims oftentimes a long time to come to grips with what happened, for them to have confidence that people will believe their truth, and to come forward and share what happened. That's very normal, and that's not something that victims should ever be criticized about. No one should fear coming forth. Share that information with us.
Now, Bartow's attorney and Laurel Pediatric Associates did not return a phone call for comment, but on the Pediatric Associates website, they write, quote, "Please know that while this is a very difficult time for all of us, our first priority remains ensuring that your family continues to receive the very best care. We ask that you continue to reassure your children that our doctors and staff are here to take care of them whenever they need us." Now, Bartow is currently being held at the Cambria County Jail. Shapiro says that if he is convicted, he could face life behind bars. Investigators say that this is an ongoing investigation, and they worry that there could be more victims out there. Victims and their families can contact a hotline that's been set up by the Attorney General's office, and that number is 412-565-7680. Reporting live in Richland Township, I'm Lindsay Kennett, WTAJ News.
Every state in America has pedophiles working as pediatricians. Okay, a pediatrician is the ideal employment for child predators, and parents must know this. Okay, any man who wants to earn a living by being with children every day should be carefully investigated. Okay, one of America's most recognized pediatricians was convicted of sexually molesting children for years. For decades, this sexual predator manipulated his community into believing he could do no wrong. Okay, because parents trust physicians, because they went to college, many children become victims. Just because a physician wears a white jacket does not mean they should be trusted. And this is an undeniable fact. Everywhere you look, in every state across America, there are pedophiles posing as pediatricians. Okay? A pediatrician is an ideal position for a child predator, and that's crucial for parents to be aware of this. Okay? Any individual who seeks to earn a living in close proximity to children on a daily basis must undergo thorough scrutiny. Okay? One of the most esteemed pediatricians in the United States was found guilty of sexually abusing children for decades. For many years, this sexual predator, disguised as a doctor, manipulated his community into believing he was beyond reproach. Okay, due to the trust Due to the trust that parents place in physicians, countless children have fallen victim. And we're going to prove that today. Okay? The title of today's broadcast, brothers and sisters, Medicine's Darkest Secrets. If you knew who were wearing these white jackets, brothers and sisters, if you knew who was wearing these white jackets, we're going to show you. Follow us to Proverbs chapter 22 in the NLT version of the Bible, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, we're in the book of Proverbs, the 22nd chapter and the 3rd verse. The title of today's broadcast, Medicine's Darkest Secrets. Medicine's Darkest Secrets, brothers and sisters. We're at Proverbs 22. We're at Proverbs 22, verse 3. Let's take a gander.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 3 in the NLT. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences.
Read that again, brothers and sisters.
A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences.
See that? The Bible says a wise person has foresight. They'll watch this content that we're bringing out and say, not mine. I'm not going to trust these doctors. Okay? I'm not going to trust these doctors until I have a reason to trust them, until they are proven to be trustworthy. Okay, the passage emphasizes that wise people have the capability to sense beyond the immediate details. Okay, Solomon is alluding to a type of wisdom that allows you to stand back and consider the bigger picture. Okay, the author emphasizes that those who are truly intelligent have an increased awareness of their surroundings, right? See that? The Lord says a wise person learns from the mistakes of others, right? A wise man doesn't learn from his own mistakes. He learns from the mistakes of others. Okay, a fool learns from his own mistakes. Solomon refers to a type of wisdom that allows a person to step back and evaluate the larger context. Okay, the text points out that a wise person functions with an enhanced sense of situational awareness. Okay, the Bible itself cautions us about the need of remaining aware of the times in which we live. We are currently living in an era of the most sexually depraved time in the history of civilization, and that's a fact we can't deny. Okay, we find ourselves in the most sexually immoral phase in the history of civilization. Parents must exercise amplified vigilance whenever their children are beyond their immediate supervision. It is important not to grow complacent regarding the protection of children, because neglecting this responsibility will have catastrophic results, brothers and sisters. The existence of predators is undeniable, and recent tragic incidents served as a reminder of the need for vigilance. Many overlook the fact that a well-known optometrist, Andrew Cook, was recently arrested for distributing child pornography.
A Garner eye doctor facing more than a dozen child pornography charges is free on bond after he waived his right to appear in court earlier today.
CBS 17's Barron James is live at the Wake County Justice Center. He's digging deeper into those charges that the doctor's now facing. Barron.
Yeah, Russ and Liz, as you mentioned, a pretty extensive investigation here as Dr. Andrew Cook decided to waive his right to appear in court here today. Take a look. The 73-year-old optometrist is charged with 15 felony counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor dating back to January 2024. According to court records, Dr. Cook is accused of duplicating child pornography, specifically photos of children as old as 14 and as young as 3 years old, engaged in sexual activity. Cook worked as an optometrist here at this My Eye Doctor office on Vandora Springs Road in Garner until police, working with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the SBI, arrested him on Friday. His next-door neighbor told me the doctor is not only facing these charges, but also facing health issues.
He comes and goes, very friendly, very nice, polite. I had some discussions about his health issues and stuff like that, even the situation the way it is. Still keep him in prayers.
Several of Dr. Cook's patients showed up today at his Garner office only to find this note on the front door that this My Eye Doctor location is closed today. And each patient told me off camera how shocked they are about the doctor's arrest. A man they describe as nice, very professional, and would go the extra mile to help people in need. The My Eye Doctor company released a statement saying, after learning of the arrest of Dr. Andy Cook, we have suspended our relationship with him. Back out here live, Dr. Cook is out of jail on a $100,000 bond. His next court date is set for September 15th.
The healthcare sector is plagued with pedophiles, and that's an undeniable fact, brothers and sisters. Parents should exercise caution when selecting doctors for their children. All parents should, and I would say must, conduct background checks on the doctors their children will be seeing. Okay, and that's a truth that should not and cannot be contested. Okay, the healthcare industry is loaded with child predators, a reality that cannot be disputed. Parents must exercise extreme caution regarding the physicians they permit their children to consult with. Okay, if it's necessary, brothers and sisters, and it is, okay, it is. In my opinion, it is necessary for all parents to conduct background checks on the physicians their children will be visiting. Okay, and guess what? In this digital age, it has never been simpler to verify whether a physician has faced predatory allegations in the past. Okay, we urge all parents to remain vigilant when placing their trust in these licensed medical professionals. Okay, the very individuals we rely on for health guidance are also living lives of sexual deviancy. Countless physicians worldwide have a documented history of predatory conduct, a fact that many choose to overlook. Many people completely disregarded the recent arrest of the well-respected pediatrician and geneticist Howard Saul on charges related to child pornography.
Well, a big story here today. A former doctor at Cincinnati Children's Hospital facing federal child porn charges.
Yeah, 73-year-old Dr. Howard Saul is accused of possessing and transporting tens of thousands of illegal images. WLWT News' Karen Johnson live now with the breaking information. Hi, Karen.
Yeah, hey, Sheree. You know, Dr. Howard Saul appeared in federal court this afternoon. I was able to get a copy of the court complaint, and the allegations that are outlined in these documents are extremely disturbing. Saul worked as a geneticist and dysmorphologist at Cincinnati Children's Hospital, and it is important to note that investigators say they have not located any evidence of child porn involving patients or children associated with the hospital. According to the court documents, investigators seized about 29 devices from Saul's Cincinnati area home, and the FBI identified what appears to be over 153,000 child sexual abuse material images and 470 videos on Saul's devices. According to the complaint, Saul advised that he has viewed child pornography but removed it from his devices. Saul advised that child pornography bothers him, and that is why he looks at it. Now, the children in the photos, according to these documents, are very young, a 1-year-old, 3-year-olds, even a newborn. Cincinnati Children's did release a statement saying that they condemn this type of behavior, condemn exploitation of children. A hospital spokesperson, though, would not go into any details or answer any questions I have, like how long did Saul work at Children's? When did he start? When did he leave? What was his reason for leaving? So again, a lot of questions I know people have in the community, and we're trying to get answers.
One of the most well-regarded pediatricians at Ohio's Children's Hospital has been arrested on child pornography charges. Okay? Here we have a physician working in a children's hospital who is a predator. There are countless predators working in children's hospitals, and parents must be cognizant of that. Okay? Thousands of photographs of child sexual assault were discovered in the possession of one of Ohio's most renowned physicians and geneticists. Okay, a highly regarded pediatrician at Ohio's Children's Hospital was arrested on charges related to child pornography. This is a case of a doctor employed in a children's hospital who is a predator. We're going to expose him today, brothers and sisters. Open your eyes. These are the people you're trusting to tell you, hey, you need cancer treatment, you need this treatment, you need that treatment. Okay, you need radiology. You need to take this medication. You need these vaccines. These are the people you're trusting. Let's talk about it today. Buckle up, brothers and sisters. Follow us to 1 Corinthians chapter 3. Brothers and sisters, we're at 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18 and 19. Okay, because why? Many of us, we trust these doctors because they went to college. Okay, as if there's no bad people in college. Right? Oh, because he has a white jacket. He went to school for 6 to 8 years. He's a trustworthy guy. Really? Really? Let's see about that. Let's see about how trustworthy these guys are. We're at 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18 and 19. What does God tell us about that academic education, right? These academic institutions, these universities. What does God tell us? Let's see.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
Read verse 19 again, brothers and sisters.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
Read that again, brothers and sisters.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
This passage advises us not to trust doctors simply because they're highly educated. See that? He said the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Because they went to an Ivy League school means nothing. In fact, it usually means they're dumber than most of us because they've been indoctrinated. That's why it's called a degree. Okay? If you study the Masonic order, right, they're called degrees, right? The 33rd degree, right? Once you get the degree that says, hey, we're going to allow you to make a lot of money because you've been indoctrinated, right? We know you're indoctrinated because you got the degree, right? The degree says, hey, they've been indoctrinated to believe as we tell them to believe. Okay, so now we're going to allow you to make a lot of money. See that? It's all connected, right? The Bible says it's a mistake to trust the doctor because they're highly educated and attended an Ivy League school. Okay, right? He says, a man who's wise in this world must become a fool. Because why? The wisdom of this world makes you prideful. It makes you foolish in the eyes of God. Right? According to the text, being credentialed in the healthcare industry does not suggest I should trust you. Okay, the Bible teaches us that just because someone has medical qualifications does not make them a trustworthy person. Okay, in this verse, God reminds us of the vanity that accompanies academic degrees. These guys and gals are some of the most arrogant people you could ever want to know. Try to call a doctor by his first or last name and see what happens. They say, well, hold on, my name's doctor. Okay. I went to school for 8 years. You're going to call me doctor. Right? Don't try to talk to me like we're equals here. Okay? I went to school. You didn't. Right? The text suggests that being credentialed in the healthcare field should not automatically earn your trust. See that? The Bible reminds us that having credentials does not reflect a person's moral character. See? In this passage, God reminds us that pride often accompanies medical degrees. And that's just a fact that cannot be denied. try to refer to a doctor by their first or last name without giving the title. And you're going to see another side of them. Okay, because they want to make sure you know we are not the same. It's just like these pastors who want to be called bishop and elder. It's the same exact spirit. Right? Once they get their degree, their theological degree, they want to let it be known, listen, brother, I'm your pastor. I'm your bishop. Okay, I'm your elder. Don't talk to me like we're equal. We don't see eye to eye. Okay, bucko? According to the text, only a fool would assume that someone with a 4-year or 6-year degree should inherently be trusted. The Bible clearly states that we should not place our trust in a physician simply because they model a white coat. Okay, the Bible indicates that placing trust in a physician based on their education and attendance at an Ivy League institution is misguided. Okay, the text indicates that being credentialed within the healthcare sector does not inherently warrant my trust. And we're going to talk about it. Why? In this passage, God stresses that pride often accompanies degrees and professional qualifications. Many people overlook the case of the prominent Seattle doctor who was recently discovered to be battling addiction while practicing medicine.
We begin with a University of Washington resident physician at Seattle Children's Hospital accused of diverting fentanyl and other controlled substances away from his young patients in order to take the drugs himself. 35-year-old Andrew Vogel Potadera is charged with 2 counts of acquiring a controlled substance by misrepresentation, fraud, deception, and subterfuge. We'll be getting back to Fox 13's Jennifer Dowling in just one moment to get to this story.
It's despicable, really.
Strong words from Special Agent in Charge David Reams regarding accusations made against a doctor accused of taking pain medication meant for sick patients, including children.
As a father, I'm very gratified to get someone like this out of circulation.
Federal agents say Dr. Andrew Vogel Potadera was working as an anesthesiologist resident and a resident physician at the University of Washington Medical School and was most recently assigned a rotation at Seattle Children's Hospital. Though the allegations stem from 2024, it was his brief stint at Seattle Children's Hospital where agents say an attending physician noticed something amiss and they got the case in early 2025.
They sort of caught on to his scheme relatively quickly.
Court documents state the physician reported Vogel Potadera was displaying behaviors consistent with drug use, including unexplained delays and absences, and drew up an excessive amount of fentanyl into syringes that would almost certainly not be needed for their patients that day.
Have a great deal more than he needed, and then he would either give some of it to the patient and then the rest for himself, or he would take it all himself.
This is a very simplistic demonstration about what DEA agents say was happening in this case. Let's pretend that this orange liquid is the medication. Those agents say that the syringe was being filled up beyond the prescribed amount of medication for the patients. Investigators then claim that some of that medication was given to some of the patients. However, they say the rest was then set aside for the doctor's personal use. Agents say because medication is so closely tracked and monitored, even excess medication, when it's disposed of, that medication had to be replaced with something. So they accuse the doctor of taking saline, which is essentially salt water, and putting it in the waste bin instead of the medication.
To replace with saline and take the medicine himself, take the drugs himself.
Court documents state he sometimes would take diverted medications during his shift intravenously. In some cases, medical records showed that a patient was given a medication, but Potadera never actually administered it. Documents also stated that he indicated that probably one day saline was drawn up and labeled as fentanyl and given to a patient, including at Seattle Children's Hospital.
That is the most troubling part, because a patient would only get fentanyl in a medical setting for the most severe of pain. So you've got an infant patient in desperate need of pain relief, and what that patient gets is saline solution, which is salt water.
Seattle Children's Hospital sent us a statement confirming that when staff witnessed Vogel Potadera's actions, they quickly reported it to federal authorities. Reams says it's rare to see this type of accusation against a doctor on duty. Reporting live in the newsroom, Jennifer Dowling, Fox 13 News.
Dr. Vogel, a highly regarded anesthesiologist in Seattle, has been found to be addicted to prescription medication. Here we have a doctor who treats children and is struggling with drug addiction. Parents need to realize that there are countless doctors who are addicted to drugs while still practicing medicine. Okay, we observed one of Seattle's leading anesthesiologists caught stealing drugs from his patients to use for himself later on. Okay, the Bible cautions us not to assume that someone with a high level of education is trustworthy. Dr. Vogel was one of the world's most respected anesthesiologists and was found to be addicted to pills. Okay, parents better wake up to the truth that there are many doctors that are addicted to drugs, and that's a fact that cannot be denied. Okay, here we see one of the most prominent anesthesiologists in Seattle revealed to be stealing medications from his patients. Okay, the Bible cautions us against assuming someone can be trusted just because they have a medical degree and a white coat. Okay, wake up, brothers and sisters, because guess what? This is the same guy telling you what treatment you need to be on, telling you what surgeries you need to get, telling you what will and will not work. See that? We want people to stop being so trusting of the healthcare industry. That's why we're bringing forth this information. Okay? Not to suggest that, hey, your child may get molested. That's the truth. But it's not even just about that. It's on a more, it's on a grander scale of that these people are not to be trusted in any way. Okay? The word pharmacy comes from the word sorcery. Okay? The word sorcery, right, is pharmacy, pharmakai in the Greek, the Latin. Okay, it's sorcery. Witches and warlocks now wear white coats, and that's a fact that cannot be denied. Okay, somebody giving you pills so you could sleep and all that, pills to go away from pain and all that, that was a witch doctor. Now they don't wear black, they wear white. Okay? And the fact that they chose white is part of the play, right? Because you're more likely to trust somebody wearing white. See that? Dr. Vogel, Seattle's leading anesthesiologist, addicted to prescription drugs. See that? We're going to talk about it today. Let's go to Job 13:4, brothers and sisters, please. Brothers and sisters, we're here at Job 13:4. Job 13:4, why? This was a prophecy that in the last days, the physicians could not be trusted. Okay, take a look at what the Bible says here in Job 13:4. We're in the King James Version of the Bible. Let's take a look.
The book of Job, chapter 13, verse 4 in the KJV. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value.
What did that say, brother?
But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value.
Aha! The Lord has issued a clarion call. Corruption isn't just creeping into healthcare, it is saturating it. Okay, we have been warned. Unethical schemes have hijacked the industry, sacrificing patients' lives on the altar of greed. Okay, scripture pulled back the curtain long ago, predicting a healthcare system warped. Okay, so much so that it would become a weapon against society. You see that? This isn't just bad business. This is spiritual warfare. He says forgers of lies. That means they will just create up lies. They will just create lies like they did with COVID. Lie after lie after lie. Prophecy is manifesting before our very eyes. Doctors are now weaponizing the prescription pad. Read that one more time, brothers and sisters, please.
Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
See that? The physicians are lying. The veil is down. The modern medical machine has pivoted from preserving health to harvesting wealth. Scripture foresaw this era of betrayal. Doctors shamelessly trading their integrity for blood money through fraudulent prescriptions. Okay, while the world sleeps, thousands of physicians are being led away in handcuffs for fueling the opioid crisis. Corruption has healthcare in a chokehold, brothers and sisters. The warning is clear. A system built for healing has become a tool for harm. Ancient prophecy warns in the last days, trust in medicine would crumble. Scriptures reveal the dark influences haunting modern medicine. The Bible saw it coming. Thousands of doctors have been arrested for fueling the pill crisis. Doctors are now writing fake scripts for profit, turning healing into a hustle. The Lord issued a warning regarding the escalating corruption within the healthcare sector. The Bible foretold that the healthcare system would become corrupt and detrimental to the very well-being of society. The Bible cautioned that physicians would prescribe medications that do not correspond with patients' actual symptoms. Okay, the text advises us to exercise caution when placing our trust in these medical professionals. Many people completely overlook the number of doctors who are arrested each year for writing unnecessary prescriptions for pain medications.
Addicted to a combination of prescription drugs for 7 years. One woman says her doctor helped get her hooked.
2 investigator Pam Zeckman reports the state is cracking down on doctors who use their medical license as a license to deal.
They can be a lifesaver for patients suffering great pain and a killer for people who become addicted to them, like this woman who asked that we conceal her identity.
For 7 years, not only did those painkillers numb my physical pain, they hijacked my brain so I couldn't feel. I couldn't process.
Opioid painkillers, along with a mixture of drugs for seizures, anxiety, and a muscle relaxant. Drugs, she said, were prescribed by Dr. Syed Akhtar, up to 90 pills at a time, sold from his office for $1 a pill. Her go-to combination was Soma, Klonopin, and Tramadol.
It's called the Holy Trinity of drugs, and combined these can cause a heroin-like high and can be extremely deadly when taken together.
I almost lost my life. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
During one visit to the doctor's office, she says she took some of the pills he prescribed right here in his waiting room, then walked down the street and collapsed from an overdose. ER records confirm the overdose, a problem addiction specialists are all too familiar with.
More people are dying of opioid overdoses than are dying from cancer. It's past car accidents. It's about as dire of a consequence as there can be.
To what extent do you believe doctors are contributing to the problem?
I believe doctors are definitely a major part of the problem. We bring federal state charges, and basically at that point we would look at them as a drug dealer with a lab coat on.
The Illinois Department of Professional Regulation has disciplined more than 100 doctors in the last 3 years, and now Dr. Akhtar faces possible disciplinary action for inappropriately prescribing multiple controlled substances to another patient without confirming her pain complaints. I tried asking him about it after a recent hearing. I wanted to ask you about your prescribing habits. He had no comment. Now she warns,
just because a doctor is prescribing does not mean it's okay or safe.
Thousands of clinics have traded stethoscopes for prescription pads, turning healers into high-stakes dealers. Okay, half of all street addictions begin in the doctor's office, and that's a fact that's undeniable. Okay, from Brooklyn to LA, medical headquarters are falling as greed-driven pill mills are exposed. The Bible foretold it. the healthcare system would be blinded by the love of money, brothers and sisters. Throughout the United States, there are tens of thousands of physicians who utilize their prescription pads as a means, as a means to generate income. And that's a fact that cannot be denied. Each year, thousands of individuals become addicts due to the willingness of these doctors to sell pain medications for profit. The Bible cautioned us that the healthcare sector would be populated by those who prioritize wealth. In every state across America, there are countless doctors engaged in the sale of opiates, a reality that is indisputable, brothers and sisters. Countless physicians are prepared to jeopardize their medical licenses by issuing fraudulent prescriptions for financial gain. Most addicts struggling with addiction on the streets will admit that their dependency originated from prescription medications. Most people completely overlook the Brooklyn doctor who was discovered transforming his medical practices into centers for drug distribution. New York ignored the signs while a local physician turned 3 clinics into drug dealing fortresses.
Very intricate, lots of layers, and prosecutors say the drug scheme cheated the health system out of tens of millions of dollars, but even worse, flooded our city with illegal prescription painkillers.
Absolutely innocent. I don't know what's going on.
On his way into court, Dr. Lazar Fagan protested the criminal charges that he turned his medical offices into opioid pill mills. Allegedly, the multi-million-dollar scheme involved thousands of medically unnecessary prescriptions and shady patient tests and treatments to defraud Medicare and Medicaid.
Were all of those treatments necessary? Yes, sir. Absolutely. And they can prove it.
The doctor was arrested along with 12 others. The Drug Enforcement Administration says they uncovered 3 pill mills disguised as medical clinics, putting 6 million painkiller pills on the black market with a street value of up to $100 million. At one of Dr. Fagan's Brooklyn offices, DEA agents had the place shut down and brought out evidence while some longtime patients stood outside.
I'm shocked because I thought that it was legit here.
I felt something strange about the place, but I didn't know for sure what's going on, but I didn't know.
Prosecutors say this began in 2013 when a patient blew the whistle on what was going on. The investigation lasted 4 long years because patient privacy laws got in the way.
It's all driven by greed.
Prosecutors say at least some patients were in on the scheme to get their own drugs or make money off illegal sales.
So many of the pills on the black market were being tracked back to these clinics.
Also charged is former Coney Island Assemblyman Alec Brooke Krasny, seen here in a 2012 story about Superstorm Sandy aftermath. He is in Israel and has not surrendered. Investigators say he allegedly directed a lab he is now affiliated with to alter test results.
They would get the government to pay them $400 just for per cup of urine.
Charges include conspiracy, healthcare fraud, and money laundering. If convicted, Dr. Fagan could be sentenced to 25 years in prison. Dana.
Hey, thank you.
Brothers and sisters, follow us to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. Okay? Because why? It speaks to why these doctors are selling opiates. Okay? Why? Why is it these doctors are making $100,000 at least on a low level? Okay? The Lord warns you, when you become a lover of money, you'll do some things. Take a look. We're at 1 Timothy chapter 6. We're going to have Brother Quran read the 10th verse. Let's take a gander.
1 Timothy 6 and 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and have pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Aha! The Bible warns us here not to place money above morality. According to the scripture, those who are overly focused on financial gain will forfeit their ethical standards. Okay, here medical professionals are warned to the risk involved in the pursuit of riches. Okay, this passage acts as a warning directed at physicians, emphasizing the possible dangers and the pitfalls tied to the pursuit of wealth. Okay, doctors are firmly advised to recognize the risks and traps that accompany the pursuit of wealth. Okay, the scripture serves as a reminder that an obsession with wealth accumulation will result in negative outcomes. Okay, most physicians will enter the healthcare field with the intention of earning substantial income, a fact that is undeniable. Okay, the Bible is clear. Chasing wealth is a trap that kills your conscience. Okay, when money becomes your idol, your integrity dies. Okay, greed, brothers and sisters, is the new epidemic. Doctors are trading their prescription pads for riches, proving that the love of money leads you straight into ruin. Okay, most enter healthcare for the paycheck, not the patients. And that's an undeniable truth. Okay, no industry is safe. Okay, whether you're a surgeon or a CEO, if you worship the dollar, you're headed for a crash. While the world looked away, a top addiction doctor was busted for international drug trafficking. Most people totally ignored the prominent physician that was recently arrested on charges of importing narcotics.
Tonight, a local doctor and medical expert specializing in addiction services is facing federal charges himself for allegedly importing cocaine and heroin. Good evening, I'm Scott Levin. Dr. Torin Finver of Hamburg is now charged with the importation of a controlled substance, could spend 2 decades in prison. 2 Inside's Ron Plants has all the details tonight.
The U.S. Attorney's Office of Western New York in their press release reports 54-year-old Dr. Torin Finver of Hamburg was arrested Monday and charged with importation of a controlled substance. It carries a maximum term of 20 years in prison and a $1 million fine. We here at Channel 2 and other media outlets have interviewed Dr. Finver numerous times on addiction issues in his roles as an expert on the subject and the medical director of both the Kids Escaping Drugs and Horizon House drug treatment programs and facilities. A federal prosecutor say in November and December, several packages addressed to Finver's home in Hamburg, in one case from a fictitious sender address in Germany, were intercepted by Customs and Border Protection with drug-sniffing dogs. Search warrants and tests revealed contents of cocaine or heroin. They say on Monday, December 17th, agents delivered one of the packages with the cocaine removed to Finver's Hamburg home, and he accepted delivery. Prosecutors add that a search warrant of the home was conducted and Finver was arrested. This evening, in response statements, Horizon House parent firm Horizon Corporation said, "We are disappointed by the news, and Dr. Finver is no longer delivering services to our patients. We are monitoring this situation and ensuring our patients are cared for." UB Medical School says Finver is a faculty member with no other duties, and they have no reason to believe the charges are tied to his duties at the university. They are taking steps to respond while recognizing anyone accused of a crime is innocent until proven guilty. In his UB Medical School profile, it notes Dr. Finver has recovered from addiction, and back in October 2008, his medical license was suspended by the state health department for 12 months while he was practicing medicine with a home address in Ithaca. The record states he did not contest a charge of being a habitual user of alcohol or drugs.
New York's top physician has been arrested. Okay, Dr. Finver was caught flooding the streets with the very drugs he was supposed to fight. Okay, never mistake a white coat for a clean conscience. Trust must be earned, not assumed, brothers and sisters. Healthcare is broken. Okay, doctors profit from pain, not cures. There's simply too much money in keeping you sick. Okay, the system is rigged. When physicians only get paid if you're ill, your sickness becomes their paycheck. Okay, a white lab coat is no shield against greed, brothers and sisters. Dr. Finver traded his oath for an international drug ring. Okay, one of the most notable physicians in New York has been discovered to be inundating the streets with drugs all throughout New York, brothers and sisters. Okay, in an industry that profits from disease, honesty is expensive. Okay, and we're going to talk about it. Why? Fix the flaw. Fix the flaw. Doctors shouldn't get rich off your sickness. Okay, physicians earn income when people are sick. This illustrates a fundamental flaw within the healthcare system. Okay, doctors do not generate revenue unless patients are ill. And this is an issue that requires resolution. Okay, Dr. Finver, one of the most prominent doctors in New York, is caught importing drugs from other countries. And you're trusting these guys. Well, yeah, he went to school. What school did he go? You don't even know what school he went to. This man could have got his doctorate degree from Phoenix University. You don't know. Online. Not to say there's anything wrong with online, but come on now. If this brother became a doctor online, would you get a second opinion? Well, you oughta. You oughta. Okay? So let's be clear on this, brothers and sisters. Stop trusting their so-called education, because a lot of these doctors didn't even get the education. Okay? You trusting that everyone with a white coat on did the right thing. Cut it out, man. Cut it out. Okay? Because you trusting them when they shouldn't be can ruin your life. And that's the proof we wanted to show you. These doctors are no different from anyone else. Okay, living in deviancy. Okay, greed, sexual immorality. You need to get a second and third opinion. You need to get a second and third opinion. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, we're here in the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 38th chapter and the 4th verse. Okay, Ecclesiasticus chapter 38, verse 4. Let's take a look.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, verse 4. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them.
Read that again, brothers and sisters.
The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them.
See that? God's cure isn't in a lab. It's in the soil. The Bible declares the earth's herbs as the true source of healing, brothers and sisters. Okay. A doctor who ignores the power of plants ignores the word of God. Real medicine is grown, not manufactured, brothers and sisters. Okay. Scriptures revealed the big secret. Big Pharma spent billions to bury. Herbs were and are the primary cure for humanity. Okay, stethoscopes have been replaced by price tags. Modern doctors have become nothing more than legalized drug dealers. Okay, Big Pharma doesn't want you healthy. They want you dependent, brothers and sisters. There's no money in a cure, only in the struggle. Okay. Follow us to verse 9 and 10, brothers and sisters. Okay, we're going to jump down to verse 9 and 10. Brothers and sisters, we're at Ecclesiasticus 38, verse 9 and 10. Let's take a look.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 38, verse 9. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole. Leave off from sin, and order thy hand aright, and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness.
Read that one more time, verse 10.
Leave off from sin, and order thy hands aright, and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness.
The Lord tells you don't be negligent in your sickness. Okay, what should I do, Lord? Leave off from sin. He tells you that sickness is spiritual, brothers and sisters. See that? He says, don't be negligent in your sickness, what's the first thing I should do? Is it call a doctor? No, leave off from sin. Find out what sin opened you up to this sickness. Right? Right? If you're smoking cigarettes, right, what happens? It leads to cancer. If you do a lot of drinking alcohol, right, it leads to liver damage. If you smoke crack cocaine, right, you do pills and all that, it leads to addiction. See that? So the Lord is telling you these doctors are not to be trusted, because why? These doctors will never tell you the truth. Sickness is spiritual. No, they would never tell you that. They would never tell you to go on a fast, even though the Bible says fasting can heal all sicknesses. They don't want you to believe in that. They want you to say, hey, take this medicine we got for you. Okay? It's not just the doctors. Pharmacy owners have sold their souls to the highest bidder. Okay? The entire industry is a temple of greed. The Bible teaches that a competent physician acknowledges the significance of herbs in the healing process. The Bible asserts that God created herbs from the earth to assist in healing. Okay, the passage indicates that a physician who overlooks the importance of herbs does not meet the criteria of a good doctor as per biblical teachings. Okay, a respected physician, as described in the Bible, acknowledges, okay, the healing capabilities of herbs. So he says the first thing you need to know, right? Learn the power of herbs. The second thing you need to do is understand sickness is spiritual. Stop sinning. Stop sinning, because your sin is what opens you up to the sickness. Okay, there is significant profit to be gained in the pharmaceutical sector. Right? The Bible indicates that herbs serve as the primary source of remedies in ancient times. See that? This verse emphasizes the significance of herbal medicine in enhancing contemporary medical practices. Okay, the Bible clarifies that a skilled physician recognizes the potency of natural herbs. Okay, according to biblical accounts, plants were the primary source of medicine in ancient times. All pharmaceutical companies have concealed this knowledge, brothers and sisters. Okay, pharmaceutical companies have invested billions in efforts to suppress the information we're discussing today. Okay, doctors have converted into legalized drug dealers, a reality that is undeniable. The entire healthcare system is tainted, and God cautioned us about that in his word. Okay, and guess what? It's not solely the physicians who have succumbed to the corruption for monetary gain. Pharmacy owners are also implicated, brothers and sisters. Many people have completely overlooked the transgender pharmacy owner who was recently interviewed by a judiciary committee at a hearing.
You said that you're a trans woman.
A trans female, yes, sir.
Do you have a penis? Are you telling us that you're unfamiliar with the large body of medical evidence of the harm that has come upon people that have gone through these processes?
I'm familiar with a large body of evidence that shows that providing good affirming care saves lives.
Are you saying that you're unaware of the large body of medical evidence of the harm that has come upon these people in these processes that have been gone through? Are you unaware of that body of evidence?
I will repeat what I just said.
Are you unaware of that body of evidence?
I will repeat what I just said.
You said that you're a trans woman.
A trans female, yes, sir.
Do you have a penis?
That's horrible.
You're the one that brought that into the discussion.
I never said anything about genitalia.
Oh, it has everything to do with genitalia.
I don't know what my rights are right now.
Audience, if you want to stay in here.
I don't know what my rights are, but that question was highly inappropriate.
You do not have to answer any question. If you're through, we'll dismiss you.
Well, I'm not through with questions, but I'm not going to answer that question. That's highly inappropriate.
Again, you can say that, and that's your right. So.
Okay. I'm a healthcare professional, a doctor. Please treat me as such.
It is evident that this pharmacist is disconnected from reality, yet they expect us to place our trust in them regarding our medicines. Okay, this is a pharmacy owner who lacks the honesty to acknowledge their own biology, their own gender. It is clear, okay, it is clear that this pharmacist is grappling with a mental illness. The entire healthcare sector is inundated with people parading behind these white coats, right? Not only the white coats, medical degrees. Not even just the medical degree, because now we see the pharmacy owners. They're all disguising their sexual deviancy. Okay, our intention is to highlight the type of people employed within the healthcare industry. Okay, the healthcare industry has been infiltrated by the homosexual agenda, and that's a fact that's irrefutable. The healthcare industry has traded God's truth for a radical agenda. Faith and biology are being erased for political ideology. Medical schools have abandoned basic biology. Today, finding a doctor who admits that only women can get pregnant is a rare feat. Okay, how can we trust our medication to those who deny their own biological reality? Deception has reached the pharmacy counter, brothers and sisters. Satan has claimed the classroom. Modern medical training is no longer about health. It's about indoctrination. God warned us of this godless system, from gender-bending owners to compromising physicians. The healthcare industry is in a moral freefall. Brothers and sisters, biology doesn't lie, but the medical industry does. A white coat is no excuse for a mental delusion. Okay, we've traded physicians for activists. We've traded science for an agenda. The Bible defines gender. The healthcare industry defies it. Physicians are increasingly reluctant to accept scientific evidence that contradicts their political ideologies. Only biological women possess the ability to become pregnant, yet the healthcare industry refuses to acknowledge this truth. Okay, the Bible provides clarity on the subject of gender, yet the majority of licensed physicians choose to disregard this truth. Medical education is being influenced by demonic forces, and that's a fact that's undeniable. That is a fact that's undeniable. Follow us to Psalms 71. Brothers and sisters, we're here at Psalms 71, verse 6. We're in the NLT version of the Bible. The title of today's broadcast, brothers and sisters, Medicine's Darkest Secrets. Today, we expose the medical industry's secrets. We're at Psalm 71, verse 6. Let's take a gander.
Psalm 71 and 6. Yes, you have been with me from birth. From my mother's womb, you have cared for me. No wonder I am always praising you.
Read that again, brothers and sisters.
Yes, you have been with me from birth. From my mother's womb, you have cared for me. No wonder I am always praising you.
This passage argues that according to the Bible, only women can become pregnant. The text emphasizes that pregnancy is an exclusively female act. According to the Bible, any medical professional claiming men can get pregnant contradicts biblical principles. Okay, the Bible clearly defines pregnancy as what? Belonging to women, belonging to mothers. Okay, God has only blessed women with the ability to conceive. Okay, scripture is final. Pregnancy is a divine gift reserved for women alone. And to deny this is to deny the word of God. Okay, a person who carries a child is a mother. The Bible refuses to erase the sacred identity of women. Okay, medical schools, brothers and sisters, have declared war on language, banning the word mother to protect a radical, godless agenda. Okay, they don't use the word mother anymore. Men cannot get pregnant. Any doctor who says otherwise has traded his medical license for a political script. The healthcare industry has replaced mothers with birthing people. It's not just a name change. It is a full-scale indoctrination, brothers and sisters. God defines the gender. The womb defines the mother. Okay? And we're going to talk about it. Why? Biology is not a social construct. It is a biblical, biological fact. Okay? Medical schools are trading science for a transgender agenda, brothers and sisters. This passage reveals the indoctrination that has transpired in the educational system. Okay, in most primary medical schools, the word mother is not allowed because it's considered a gendered word. In the world of academia, they have removed the word mother because it implies that only women can get pregnant. The healthcare industry is promoting a transgender agenda, and that's a fact that cannot be denied. Most people overlook the healthcare industry's shift in terminology from referring to pregnant women as mothers to calling them birthing people.
There is a growing trend in our media and culture to now avoid using the word woman or mother, and instead to use phrases such as birthing people and pregnant individuals. The Washington Post, for example, will use the term pregnant individuals in an attempt to be more inclusive, according to leaked new guidelines. Other media outlets are using similar phrases. The phrases are sneaking into official government language as well. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released a COVID-19 vaccine guidance in August for, quote, pregnant and recently pregnant people, instead of saying pregnant women. And in June, Deputy Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Shalonda Young, defended the term birthing individual in the budget proposal. Take a listen.
People who do not have gender identities that apply to female or male. So we think our language needs to be more inclusive in how we deal with complex issues.
So is the administration's official policy to replace the term woman with birthing people?
I think our official policy is to make sure when people get service from their government that they feel included, and we're trying to use inclusive language.
To discuss what this means for women, I'm joined by a great woman, Dr. Carrie Gress, a Catholic philosopher and author of several books, including The Anti-Mary Exposed, Rescuing the Culture from Toxic Femininity, and she's a fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center. Carrie, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
This is a trend that we're seeing. What are your observations on this, and are you concerned?
Yeah. No, I think this is a remarkable thing that's unfolding before our eyes, because it actually shouldn't surprise us. One of the things that I've noticed in my own research is that going back to the 1970s, one of the real efforts of radical feminism was to actually get rid of gender altogether, to try and erase it altogether. And so this is just the next logical step of how do we get rid of women entirely, and really an attack on the family in particular. And I think that one of the ways that they see they can damage the family is obviously by getting rid of mothers. Certainly they have been working on that with fathers for a long time. We now see that the patriarchy and fighting the patriarchy is one of the things that has been a mainstay for the last 50 years, kind of a talking point that comes up invariably at every Women's March. And yet, you know, we've gotten to the point where we can't really even define what it means to be a woman. So there's an awful lot of confusion, but like I said, this is just the next step in the progression of what started so long ago.
The healthcare industry has declared mother as an offensive term, robbing women of their sacred title to satisfy a radical agenda. The white coat has become a cloak for deception. Anyone with eyes can see the healthcare system has been spiritually hijacked. Motherhood is a God-given gift. It's not a medical offense, brothers and sisters. Biology is under attack. If the term mother is offensive, the system is broken. From the council room to the clinic, the word mother, the words woman are being erased. This isn't just policy. It is demonic forces, okay? The industry has traded God's order for godless, satanic agendas. Okay, the government is now leading the war on motherhood. most people overlooked when the U.S. Secretary of Health referred to women as birthing people during a government council meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Becerra. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate you coming before the committee. To start off, as a Secretary of Health and Human Services, can you define for this committee what is a man?
You're looking at one.
Great. So you are a man. I like that. Can you tell me, can men get pregnant?
Unless you know something I don't, I think the answer is pretty obvious.
What is that answer, sir?
I'm asking you, is there something you know that I don't know that would say that a man...
Well, I'm asking what you know. Can men get pregnant?
I'm not aware of it.
Okay. Well, Mr. Secretary, materials coming from your department, you've referred to mothers as birthing persons, replacing that title with...
Are mothers not persons?
Mothers are persons, but it seems to be more inclusive, like you're trying to include another gender in that.
I'm all about inclusion, Congresswoman.
There you go. Well, you know, just as a mother of 4 boys, I'm not necessarily offended at that. I am a person, but it's just unscientific and absurd.
How so?
To include men in that. If you're going to be inclusive, if you're going to be inclusive in birthing persons, yes.
Well, but it seems to me that you're trying
Let's
to
back
define
up.
the term.
Reclaiming my time. Can men get pregnant? So then we don't need to include them in this. Mothers are mothers.
Brothers and sisters, follow us to 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14 and 15. We're in the King James Version of the Bible. The title of today's broadcast, brothers and sisters, Medicine's Darkest Secrets. Medicine's Darkest Secrets. We're at 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. Let's take a look.
2 Corinthians 11 and 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers are also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works.
Read verse 14 again, brothers and sisters.
Verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Aha. In this passage, God is encouraging us to exercise caution and reduce our level of trust. Right? In this text, it's suggested that a person who's excessively trusting is not adhering to God's commands. God is providing us with valuable counsel in this passage regarding the dangers of being overly trusting. He says the devil comes as the good guy. He puts on a white coat. Right? Doctors are among the most trusted individuals in society, and Satan takes advantage of that.
And while we're talking about science, let's talk about biology. And let's just keep it real simple. Just 2 yes or no questions. And this is for Dr. Kumar. Dr. Kumar, can biological men become pregnant and give birth?
So men can have pregnancies, especially trans men.
So can biological men become pregnant and give birth? So are you saying that a biological female who identifies as a man and therefore becomes pregnant is, quote, a man? Is that what you're saying?
These questions about who can become pregnant are really missing the point. I'm here to talk
No. This is me asking a question and you answering. I'm asking the question, sir, not you.
Right, and I'm answering the question. Somebody with a uterus may have the capability of becoming pregnant, whether they're a woman or a man. That doesn't make a difference.
Okay, we're done.
Not
we're
every
done.
person with
this
a uterus
isn't complicated.
has the ability
Let me
to become
tell you,
pregnant.
if a person has
This
a
is
uterus
medicine.
and is born female, they are a woman. That is not a man, and the vast majority of the world considers that to be a woman because there are biological differences between men and women. I mean, clearly, any high school biology class teaches that men and women have different chromosomes. Females are XX chromosome and male are XY chromosome. Can't believe it's necessary to say this, but men cannot get pregnant and cannot give birth, regardless of how they identify themselves.
Okay, there is no one more trusted in society than doctors, and that is a truth that cannot be contested. Okay, this passage highlights that God is warning us to be more cautious and less trusting. Okay, the Bible teaches that we cannot judge good or evil exclusively by appearance. Okay, according to the text, Satan doesn't wear horns. He wears a smile. He wears a white coat. Okay? Deception looks like a friend, and blind trust is a shortcut to spiritual bondage. Blind trust isn't a virtue. It's disobedience. God demands alertness, not naiveness, in a world ruled by masks. We've lost the ability to tell good from evil because we judge by the suit and not the soul. The Bible tells us here that appearances are what, brothers and sisters? Appearance is the devil's greatest weapon. Okay, here the Bible reminds us that trust is earned, not owed, even to a doctor. It is very clear that Satan has traded his pitchfork for a stethoscope. Okay, Satan's favorite disguise is the white coat. Doctors are the most trusted figures in society, which makes them the perfect tools for deception. Many people overlooked when prominent OBGYN Dr. William Burke was publicly assaulted by a man who alleged that the doctor had sexually assaulted his wife.
This motherfucker sexually assaulted my wife 7 years ago. So you have to be a fucking man, motherfucker. Now you know what you did. You know your wife and you touched my wife 7 years ago in New York. Don't be an asshole, bitch. And this is for all the men who like to sexual assault women. Next is you, bitch. Be a fucking man. Be a fucking man. You have no idea. Be a fucking man. You have three beautiful and talented women right here working with you. And 7 years ago, you touched my wife in New York. Don't be an asshole, motherfucker. This is in Brazil, I'll kill you. You're lucky this is America. Because this is in Brazil, I'll kill you.
Security.
You can call fucking security and police. I don't give a fuck. Now you're right, bitch. 7 years I'm waiting for this. 7 years. My wife is suffering because you are a fucking predator. And you know what you did. Don't be a fucking bitch. Don't be a fucking bitch. You know what you did. You touched my wife in the best day of her life. When she became a doctor, you a fucking asshole. You lucky that I don't kill you. Last one more time. Last one more time. Last one more time. Stop it. This is for you two. This is for you girls. Because this asshole like to touch women. He said, do you know what he said? He said, now I can, and grab my wife. You fucking asshole. You pussy. Now you know how men you are seeing. Because you are fucking pussy. You nothing. You nothing. You know half of a man. You fucking pussy.
Not the place, not the time.
And fuck this shit.
Brothers and sisters, this is the world that we live in, where an OBGYN could sexually assault a woman and just move on with his life. Okay? We saw the husband track this man down, okay? Track this man down and slap him in front of his colleagues. Okay? Brothers and sisters, you better open your eyes to the healthcare industry, to the entire industry, from the physicians to the pharmacists, to the pharmacy owners, to the medical schools and the colleges, the academic institutions. They're all in on it, brothers and sisters. The title of today's broadcast, Medicine's Darkest Secrets. Medicine's Darkest Secrets, brothers and sisters. We want to say Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Sin no more.
Sin no more.